Okay, so now we're going to talk about this upcoming week's playoff games. We have the Kuopio Steelers are going to be playing against Seinäjoki Crocodiles. Steelers are the 1 seed. Crocodiles are the 4 seeds. Before we get into like the nitty gritty about the matchup, let's talk about some of the key players. Q, who are some of the key players for the Kuopio Steelers?
Oh man, the Scorpio Steelers got a lineup of key players. Obviously, it starts with Seth Peters. You got the quick, fast running back Lamar Carswell, Tino Gongo. You got Tommy K, Kachoa, Cadell King, AJ Wentland. I mean, they pretty much got an all-star team. Max Zimmerman from the CFL. I mean, these guys, they have a souped-up all-star lineup for that team. So I could pretty much say the whole Scorpio Steelers team are key players. It's just to name a few of those guys.
Yeah, and for the opponents, the Crocodiles, they're talented as well. You know, you got Spencer Cutland at quarterback, the man, the legend, the myth, Christian Powell at running back, and then an interesting duo, Nathaniel Robitaille and Timmy Thomas, who have been playing both receiver and DB. And we'll talk about it a little bit later, but, you know, they've both been active on both sides of the ball. Also, the French DB, Hadrian Linda, has done great this year. Alex Germany, who's been playing both sides of the ball as well. And then always, of course, you know, hometown hero, Jaska Vatanen playing linebacker. And another guy to look out for is the defensive lineman, number 9. I think his name is Ander Roulette. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but he's come on strong in the last couple of weeks for that defensive line. So those are some of the key names to follow in this matchup. What about some of the key matchups? Things that we're going to see on the field in this one. What's one of those things, Q?
We're going to see the Steelers receivers versus the Crocodile secondary. I mean, that's they played a big part in the previous game that they played. I like to say the Croc secondary won that matchup.
Yeah.
They held them to just 7 points. And the Steelers are known for putting up points. And I think the Crocs had a good scheme. They actually have the players on defense to actually match up with Kuopio receivers. So I think coming up in this next game, this playoff game, that's going to be one of the biggest matchups.
I think it's going to be a super interesting matchup in the fact that I think the real difference maker is going to be someone that we didn't name that we probably should have. I think Josh Vanderweerd is going to be the difference maker. Just looking at what their offense does and how the Steelers offense kind of operates. Last time they played, I saw a lot of tight end formations, and I actually saw the tight end, Ville Linston, going out for passes and being targeted. I don't think they want to do that. No offense to Ville, but that's really not his lane. And Seth never really got the ball to him correctly anyways. But in replace of that, he kind of was doing what Josh does a lot for this offense is he does a lot of crossing routes. He does a lot of short yardage type of stuff. He does a lot of getting to the sticks, catching the ball. And when you have like Max Zimmerman, he's a big-time playmaker. Tino Ndongo, you know, he's taking the roof off the top. And you have to put your resources to those two guys. Vanderweerd is going to be the guy who's going to be held by either a Finnish player or maybe Seidu Jallo or Jaska Vatanen get caught in coverage having to guard him as he crosses against zone. And that's where he's going to be able to, you know, make an impact in this game. I think he's that third option, which could be a little bit too much for the Crocodiles to really guard against because they're going to be so present about stopping the top 2 options in the pass game. And I think him versus their linebackers is going to be something. Their linebackers in coverage is going to be something we have to look out for. Another thing that I think is going to be a huge and probably the biggest matchup in this game is going to be Christian Powell versus the entire Steelers defense. Like, it's going to take all 11 of them. I don't care what they say. It's going to take 11 guys to tackle this guy. And how do you slow him down? Last time they played, he had over 20 carries, but he only averaged, I want to say, 3.6 or 3.8 yards a carry, which is low for him. but it was enough. They got the 14 points. They grinded it out with him. He's not a guy that's going to go away. You know, if you stop him a few times, he's going to eventually get his yards. That's what he did. He's still pretty sure he still ended up with over 100 yards in that game that they won. So he had a low average, but he got his yards and he grinded it out because he's that type of back. He could do both. And I think they took away that long touchdown, so that helped them. But for the Steelers, how are they going to stop him or slow him down enough that it allows their offense to operate eventually in this game? What do you think about that matchup?
I think the Steelers have to take away the big play runs, the big runs. I think if he gets 3 yards average, carry, but he's not breaking out these 15 and 20 and 30-yard runs, I think that's what you want. I mean, the more carries that you have to make him get, I think it's better for their defense. If he's anywhere around, averaging 8, 9, yards to carry and comes out with about 15 carries for 175 yards or something, like, you're in trouble. I think that first half, Kuopio definitely, they have to sell out on stopping him. What I think they will do is I think they'll blitz a lot. I think they really will blitz a lot. It'll make Spence have to make decisions faster. And being that he's just not a seasoned quarterback, like he's not used to that, I think that'll create some problems. So I think, but in the situation what we're talking about, I think they just have to, gang tackle Christian, and somewhat, I don't know if you can really say stop him, but if you can stop him from the big play and in the big games, I think they'll have a chance.
Yeah, just last thing I want to add about that is like what you said about gang tackling him. The one game where he really didn't get going was against the Wolverines in week 1. And what happened was he never got going. They tackled him behind the line of scrimmage. Even if they didn't tackle him behind the line of scrimmage, they made him work so hard to get to the line of scrimmage that he never got a rhythm going. And that's really the only way I've seen anyone really slow him down. Because if he gets to the line of scrimmage and he's already going, yeah, that's 5 yards. Like that's just how it goes with this guy. You can stop him in the back, and he's still probably going to get to the line of scrimmage, but that's a win against Christian Powell, and that's what they have to do. So just last thing about this game, just get into the tough questions. What are some things that these two teams are going to have to do to prove that they're worthy to win this game? What is something you think the Steelers are going to have to prove in this game against Crocodiles?
I think the Steelers, one thing is that will they play Steelers ball or will they just let the Crocs dictate this game? If the Steelers play normal Steelers ball, they'll score a lot of points. The defense will be fast. They'll be, it's a home game. The defense will be active. But if the Crocs come in and score first, they're going to put pressure on Kuopio immediately. Yep. The last thing Kuopio wants to do is to give Crocs confidence and momentum like they had this last time they played them. Because once you feel like you're in the game and once you feel like we got a chance, or once you feel like this is our game, it's going to be that for the rest of the game. And with the players they have on that team, that's going to be the field. I mean, Robitaille, Alex Germany, these dudes, they play good football in other places, and they're just big. They used to big games. Yeah. And I think I think Kuopio will have to go up early and make it to where the Crocs have to throw the ball. And if you do that, then the Kuopio got it. They got them right where they want them. But if the Crocs come out and they're putting up points early, or they get ahead of Kuopio early, then it's going to put pressure on Kuopio.
Yeah, that's for sure. For the Crocodiles, I think the tough question they're going to have to answer in this game is, can they replicate that defensive performance that they had against Kuopio last time? We got to be honest. That was probably the best defense they've ever played. Like, they showed their butts in that game. And again, I want to shout out Timmy Thomas. He had that very clutch pass breakup that led to an interception by Seydou Diallo that kind of shifted the momentum and stopped the Steelers from being able to score at the end of that game. And it was a big play. And that defense was full of, you got Nathaniel Robitaille, Timmy Thomas, and Alex Germany, guys, and even Hadrian Linda himself, who came in as DB, you got guys who are playing on both sides of the ball. And in that game, defensively, they were there, lights out. They did everything that was needed. They elevated their play. Now, my thing is, I think it's easy, and not too easy, but I think it's easy to elevate your play when you're at home. The conditions for the game are going your way. The field was a little wet, so, they had a little bit of an advantage. It's their field, their grass. They know how to play on it. Now, you're going to Kuopio. That's a travel. Seinäjoki to Kuopio, that ain't close. They got to go. I think they're going like a day early or something. I don't care if they do go a day earlier. You still got to travel all the way out there. Kuopio is going to pack the house as best they can, COVID situation. And then you're going to be asked to stop a team that just put up, 55 points last week? And I think 70 points the week before, or the week before they played y'all. I mean, yeah, they only put up 7 in that last matchup, but you're not playing that same team. You're going to be playing, the at-home Kuopio Steelers coming off a big win, kind of feeling themselves comfortable. They don't have to travel before the game. They have their routines down. Are the Crocodiles going to be able to, elevate again? That's the question they're going to have to answer. I mean, if they do, it's going to be one hell of a game. And if they don't, it's going to be one massacre. It's going to be a massacre. So that's the question y'all are going to have to answer, Crocodiles, is can you replicate that high-level defense that you had when you did beat this team before at home?